cool? Hans Themistode, FightHype.com, here with my guy, Erickson Lubin. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling good, man.
It's been a
Work
while. It,
and I'm up right now. Just got my workout done. I'm chilling.
it's been a little while since the people heard from you, man. Everybody got like a lot of questions. People don't like when you go off the grid, man. I know you've been working, but people don't like it, man. So kind of tell people why you've been like staying low, even though a lot of stuff been happening in your weight class, man.
Um, no reason for real. Just chilling, bro. Just chilling. I don't really like what's going on in my weight class, but you know what I mean. I'm just chilling. I'm laid back till I hear something about myself. You know what I
Oh,
mean, see
man.
what they got.
All right,
See what's
so
next for me.
So does that mean that you have a little something in the works right now?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. We're gonna see what how it plays out. I mean,
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it, and it don't happen or anything. But I'm just wishing the best right now, trying
All
to get
right.
the best opportunity.
All right, for sure,
But
man.
I feel like this division been a little biased with who they picking to fight for them belts, and you
Mm,
know what I mean. I feel like I'm real deserving of a title shot. You know what I mean?
100%, man. So, I'm never gonna hold back no questions or anything like that. So
Yeah, do
from
it, man.
from my knowledge, I mean, you never seem to duck a fight. You never seem to have an issue fighting anybody, really, no matter what. So what exactly happened with that Tim Tszyu fight? Because everybody thought it was you, then it was Thurman, and then, shit like that. So what happened now?
To clear everything up, um, I mean, I heard something about the two fight, and I said yes. I said yes, but I was never offered anything. No contract, no nothing. They told me, you know what I mean, is that a fight I would like to, pursue and make happen? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll fight
Mm,
that fight. And next thing you know, like couple weeks later, I see Thurman fight him. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, they trying to throw out shit that I was like, ducking the fight. Um, I didn't want to fight Tim Tszyu or I was offered something. I was never offered nothing. I never got offered no contract, no nothing.
mm.
I don't duck no fights. I don't duck no opponents, nobody. And he got a world title. I'd love to fight the champion.
So, okay, so things fell apart on, nobody really knows what kind of happened between that. But is it true that once Thurman got injured about, I think it was about 12 to 14 days before the fight actually happened, that they came to you and said, we'll give you the fight, but reasonably, like pretty much 95% of other fighters, he was just like, I ain't really in like the best shape to take a world title fight right now.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's a
Mm,
little bit of it's a little bit of both. They never came to me and offered me to fight because they already know like 12 days is, that's not realistic for me.
mhm.
I like to get into camp and prepare for somebody, watch tape, do all that.
So does a part of you get really well? You was already frustrated when you seen that Fundora was fighting. I have a hard time pronouncing the other guy's name.
Yeah, Russian dude for the belt, right? The vacant
Yeah,
W title, yeah.
yeah.
And
So it,
the WBC still have me ranked under Ramos, and I just beat Ramos.
yeah, I saw that. So is that like the biggest thing when you're talking about the whole bias stuff? Like, yo, I just beat this dude. How is he still ranked in front of me? The other dude that's fighting for the belt
Just
got
got
knocked out.
knocked out his last fight, and he's
Yeah,
fighting 5 world titles. And then the dude that just lost to Tim Tszyu, Mendoza, he's fighting for the interim title versus the dude Sebastian Fundora was supposed to fight.
yeah. So is that
Now,
like a
what
part of biases?
that leave me?
Exactly. So is that like a part of like the biases where you're just like, yo, at this point, I don't really know what to do. I don't know how to move because you're always just like, yo, let me fight the top guys and then I'm gonna get my title shot and whatever. But is it now where you're just like, all right, maybe I gotta start moving a little differently?
Yeah, yeah, facts, facts. Because before it was like, I fought Charlo back in 2017, 7 years ago.
Yep.
Um, you know what I mean? I haven't got a title shot yet since that.
Yeah.
This dude he just got off the snooze button, and he over here fighting for unified world titles.
Yeah.
So I be feeling like, yeah, man, they a little biased. They're a little biased with their picks.
When you look at that actual I mean, I know you're always down to tell me like who you think is gonna win a certain fight and whatever, but are you just kind of so pissed off where you're just like, man, I don't know who's gonna win that Tszyu versus Fundora fight, and I don't really
If
give a damn.
I'm watch the fight, I don't even know
Mm,
if I'm gonna watch the fight, bro. I
come
just
on,
probably
man. Don't front, man. You know you're gonna watch
nah,
that fight, man.
watch.
Come
I
on.
watch it live. I probably won't watch it live. I'll go do something else. I hear about it and then go watch it or something.
Okay. Do you think you're like in the right position to fight the actual winner, or do you kind of sit back and say, man, they talking about Errol Spence now?
It don't matter. I'm looking for the best fights possible, but I'd love to fight for the titles. You know what I mean? I'd love to fight the winner.
How do you feel with Spence officially coming out and saying, "Hey, I want the winner"? Zoo saying, we're down to fight Spence. Like, do you kind of understand it, or are you just like, nah, he should hit the back of the line too, man?
No, I understand it. I understand it. He just moved up the weight class. He one of the top names in boxing, and he want
Mm,
the best fights possible. We all do.
mm. Is it the same thing that it's kind of like a weird situation because it's like Spence just made it known, like, yeah, I want the winner. Crawford activated his mandatory status at 147 pounds, and he's kind of like
Let's
lined up.
let's talk about me. Let's talk
Well,
about me.
Well, 1 second. You're coming up next. Come on now. 1 second. I got you. I got you. But with those stuff lined up, we have the WBA with Madrijov, who just won that title, and then the IBF is also vacant now. Do you kind of look at those belts and say, all right, man, these two belts is tied up. Let me see if I could do some maneuvering and get those other sanctioning bodies, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I want a world title. I think is long overdue. So any one of them belts, any one of them belts, it don't matter. I like to be the next in line for any one of those belts, especially the ones that's vacant. I'll fight any one of those guys. I'm top five in every sanctioning body. So
Mhm.
like I should be next in line. I after I fought Charlo, I had to fight former Olympians, ex world champions. Right after Rosario lost to Charlo, I fought him.
Mhm.
I fought Ishe Smith right after losing to Charlo. Top contenders, all the names, bro, all the names. I fought them. I fought them. All the names at 154 pounds, I fought them.
So,
I didn't. It was. I was number one in the WBC for probably like a couple years, and then they threw Sebastian Fundora in my face. I didn't deny that fight. I took that fight because I wanted to show that I'm the best in this weight class. So I just took that fight. I didn't need to take that fight. I could have held off till the champions fought.
yeah.
I tell you, I bet he wants some. Come get some.
Mm. I know you've always been like, yo, I want a world title. But are you now at the point where you're just like, the world title will be great, but would you rather like, all right, let me see if I get this Crawford fight. That's a big money fight. That's a big fight with no belt on the line. Let me see if I get this Spence fight. That's a big money fight, no belt on the line. Is that more interesting to you than becoming a world champ, or are you just like, nah, world champ's still number one?
World champ. I ain't gonna lie to you. I could get those fights being world champion. I
Mm,
get fights being world champion. I need to be world champ.
mm. I mean, as many times as I talk to you, like I could really hear like the disappointment and like the frustration in your voice, man. I mean, I'm happy we doing it over Zoom because I ain't trying to get punched or nothing like that. but but just
I
wanted
mean,
to also,
a little disappointed, but like I said, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna keep training, and I'm gonna see what they offer me. It gotta be something good.
is it difficult though to kind of keep your head straight, kind of like keep like the positivity up when you fought literally a bunch of guys in the top five and it ain't land you no belt? Like, is it difficult to just stay active like that, man?
Nah, it ain't difficult. It ain't difficult. It's a
Mm,
lifestyle. And I don't gotta go work a 9 to 5 or nothing. This is my lifestyle. So
mm.
I'm fine. I'm gonna keep working. I know my number's gonna be called, and they coming with something good. So I'm keeping my hopes high. I'm keeping my faith high, and I'm gonna keep training. So when the time comes, I'll be ready. I'll be more than ready.
Is there any interest there? And I know you did say before that you'd be down to move up, fight like a Carlos Adames and whatever. Is that still like, I'll do it, or do you really just want to keep your flag in the ground at 154 pounds and make stuff happen over there?
Um, if it's for a world title, if it's a good offer, we'll take the opportunity too. You know, I just want to become world champion. I'm at that point in my career. I want to be world champion. It's long overdue. I work hard, and it's gonna happen.
Is there a, I mean, there has to be like a particular name at 154 pounds right now where you're just like, okay, I want to fight this dude because I can't be denied. Fundora's tied up, Mendoza's tied up, Tszyu's tied up. You know, is there's got to be somebody where you're just like, yo, I want this dude right now, man.
Charlo,
Okay, that
I want
was
Charlo. We could do that. Charlo, and I want Fundora. I want both of those dudes.
do you kind of look at Charlo the same way, man, following his loss against Canelo, or
Like he moved up 2 weight classes. You know, he'll probably come down and still be the same Charlo, but he fought Canelo. He fought one of the best in boxing,
mm,
one of the Mexican fighters ever.
mm,
So I don't take nothing from that.
makes sense. Do you plan on being in Vegas or
When
this weekend, man? Everybody gonna be there, so you know. eh,
I told I told you in the beginning of this interview, I'm not watching the fight, man.
No, but you know it ain't no party or hammer out there, man. Come on, you know you gotta pull up, brother. Stop it, man. Stop the cap, man.
I was gonna go. I was gonna go, but it's still in the air for me. The fight's tomorrow night. It's still in the air.
When do you kind of see yourself coming back, man?
Summertime. Summertime.
Do you think you'll have
Early,
enough? Do you think you'll have enough time to get at least 2 fights in this year, man? Is that the hope? Do you think you'll be able to get it done?
I would hope so. I would hope so.
When you look at a guy like, and I know you don't.
I could fight. I hope I could fight 3 times this year. It's a little shaky, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
Everybody do it like the old schools did it.
that's a little shaky. I can see you twice. I don't know about the 3 times though. It's a little shaky. Um, how do you
At my best.
absolutely right. When you look at a guy like Spence, man, when you was coming out the amateurs, I mean, both you guys were the same class, and I don't remember who was one, and I think you was one and he was two in terms of like American amateurs or whatever, or it might have been like vice versa. But when you kind of look at him and where he's at right now, like, do you think he could like cause some noise at 154 pounds, or is it just like you're not really too sure? You got to see how things play out for him.
Let's keep it about me.
Well, it's coming back to you. It's coming back to you.
I respect Spence. I think he's gonna do great whatever weight class he decides to land at. I respect him. You know what I mean? But let's keep it about me. Let's talk about me.
Is a guy like Brian Castano, is he somebody you could see yourself matching up with, man?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Does he bring like that same kind of style that you're like kind of like accustomed to fighting, kind of accustomed to fighting, like a Fundora, like somebody just gonna come forward, put a lot of pressure in your face?
I seen every style, bro. I seen every style. I
Hmm.
seen every style, but yeah, I mean, I'm used to that style. Definitely used to that style. Being a pro.
I know you said you want the Charlo fight, and the Charlo fight does make a lot of sense. You know, it's the rematch, it's a big fight and whatever. But would a part of you still be, I mean, you're always motivated. I mean, shit, if I was getting in the ring with you, you'd be motivated. I don't know why, but you but you would be motivated. But
Got to.
but nah, all right. Nah, let's not do that. Don't make me put the gloves on next time I see you, brother. Don't make me
Nah,
do
I have to go to your body, man.
let me chill. But nah, like, does that fight mean more to you than fighting for a belt? Not only is that one of the biggest fights in boxing, even though it doesn't have a belt, it's big money and it's a rematch. Does that fight mean a little bit more to you than fighting somebody else?
Um, it means a lot. It means a lot to me, but the world title means a lot to me as well. So you know what I mean. I still rather become world champion and then fight him, or just outright fight him. Honestly, just outright fight him. Like I'd rather fight Charlo than you know what I mean, any of these other fights like a Ramos rematch or anything that like isn't for a world title. That's what I meant to say.
The Ramos thing is that like a little bit
That
annoying?
shit, oh, that shit turns me off. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't need to fight that fight either.
Yeah.
I didn't need to fight that fight, but it's still a fight that it shows one of the top in this division, and I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers in this division. They need to come out with that video, that full fight video, so motherfuckers can actually watch that shit.
It's funny. I was actually with Chris Colbert when we was watching the fight and whatever. Chris was going crazy when you pulled off the win, so it was kind of ironic. Um, when you look at 154 pounds, and I mean, look, you're not like some up and coming guy that doesn't have a name or anything like that. You ever thought about just picking up the phone and just finding a way to just get in contact with Mauricio and being like, yo, a lot of stuff isn't really making sense. Can you explain things to me? Like, is there a way or a route that I gotta go in order to, get some more respect in the sanctioning bodies?
You know what? That's a good idea.
Hmm.
That's a good idea. You got his number?
I
Send me
think I
that shit.
can. I think I can make it happen. think I can make it happen.
Yeah.
So if you, I mean, Mauricio watches our videos all the time. He's on FightHype quite frequently and whatever. But if you was talking to him, like, what would be some of the stuff that you would ask him, man?
I'd ask him, why is Ramos still ranked ahead of me?
Mm,
I tagged him on Twitter asking him, but I didn't get no response. But I'd ask him why is Ramos ahead of me? Why is Fundora fighting for world title after coming off that knockout loss?
mm,
I asked him why am I being skipped, basically.
mm. Makes a lot of sense. Um, Granted, like I've already said before, I know you really want to go either a route to a world champion and whatever, but if that isn't like available, and Charlo, nobody really knows when Charlo's gonna come back and fight. Like I said, all of like the top dogs that kind of like fighting each other and whatever. Is a soft touch something, well, a quote unquote soft touch, something that you could get like down with until like a later part of the year? Or are you at the point where it's like a lot of those top guys kind of say, nah, I don't want none of these soft touches. I'm gonna just sit back and wait and just, wait till a big fight comes my way.
That's a good one. That's a good question. I do like activity. I
Mhm.
definitely like activity, but if it makes sense, then yeah, I don't know what a soft touch is at this level, but I I take a good fight.
I'd probably say somebody, because I mean,
Yeah. Give me an example.
if I was gonna say a soft touch, you know what? I got you right now. Because for
You about
pretty
to
much,
something?
say it again.
You about to look up the rankings or something?
For sure, 100%, man. I gotta make sure. I don't want to name too many names, but maybe a guy like, like I said, guys that aren't top 10, top five guy, but maybe somebody like a Dennis Hogan, somebody like a Josh Kelly, a Sam Eggington, guys like that, like a James Metcalf, guys where you're just like,
I think
oh, I'm
what
not.
makes what would make sense? I think like a guy like Josh Kelly.
Mm,
Um, in the WBO, I think he's number one in the WBO. We could fight for like an interim belt.
mm,
We could
does
fight for like a belt. That'd make a lot of sense to me. We could do that.
does make a ton of sense. Is Do you get to a point where you're just like, where you probably like have some of your handlers reach out to Al Heyman and just kind of figure out, maybe not necessarily what's the plans, but like, is there like a way I can like kind of snake my way in? And again, I know a lot of people on, well, maybe not a lot, but I know certain fighters on PBC probably don't really want to do that. But again, you've been on a real good run streak. Um, you're ranked in the top five, somewhere in the top three of like most of the sanctioning bodies and whatever. Do you kind of get to that point where you're just like, yo, can y'all contact Al? and figure out how I can like somehow get in the mix? Or do you just have enough faith where you're just like, nah, they're gonna figure it out?
I have enough faith. I have enough faith. I believe they're gonna figure it out. Cause I mean, I'm not really gonna take bullshit. So,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? They're gonna figure out, they're gonna give me something good.
How
I have
much
faith. I have good handlers. I'm happy where I'm at. I just want the biggest fights.
How much did it annoy you when you're just like, in kind of like a day and age when a fight is close? Because the fight with you and Ramos was close. I did have you winning the fight, but it was a close fight. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It was a close
Yeah,
fight. So in a day and age where when fighters have close fights, they're just kind of like dismissive of a rematch in general and whatever. And you was just like, nah, like I want to fight for a belt, but I'm still down to fight Ramos sooner than later. Like, but
yeah.
does it annoy you when Ramos is kind of like poking the bear a little bit and fans is just like, give him the rematch now? Does that kind of piss you off a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Hmm.
Just a little bit. He pissed me off enough. We're gonna have to just run it. We're gonna have to just but I feel like, you know what I mean, they it's been 7 years since I had my title shot. It's
Yeah.
been even lost in a devastating way. I get it.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of these dudes, I feel like they playing favorites with. They'll take a loss and get right into a title shot or get right into a big fight. And I don't think that's fair to me, someone like myself, because I mean, any fight, it don't matter who it was. It was Fundora, Ramos. I never said no to. I never said no to these fights. But a rematch, he gonna have to do some work to get. Just like I have to do now. I'm still working to get to the title shot.
Do you think that, and at least it's my opinion anyways, because if somebody loses the fight, in my opinion, I think that they should have to, pick up a few good wins and whatever, unless in their next immediate fight they pick up like a really good win against like a really highly ranked guy and whatever. And that's pretty much what you did against Ramos. So do you
Right.
think that kind of supersedes you having to like do what you did when you after you fought against Charlo when you had to win like 6, 7 in a row? Like, yo, all right, I lost against Fundora. I was up on the scorecards when I lost, but I went right back and I fought a really top level guy and I beat him. You think that should supersede and like be like, I don't have to put in that level of work?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I
Okay.
believe it. I'm deserving of a title shot. I believe I should have been the one fighting Tim Tszyu. Tim
Mm,
Tszyu. They they pitched it. They teased me with it. They
mm.
teased with it. I said, yeah, hell yeah, I'll fight him. And then they just came out with something totally different. I don't know who was in charge of what Tim Tszyu's what they side said or anything, what they negotiate. I don't know. I don't know. I'm the fighter, and I'm always ready to fight the best in the world, especially for a world title.
Would you say, and I know your hit list is like a mile long, somewhere at the bottom of it, I think my name is on it, but like I'm not having it. I'm not having it. But is Zoo
Yeah,
number one?
talk about love and shit when you see me. You talk about
Hey,
it.
look,
Gotta get on,
man.
man.
Look, man. When I see you, I'm a cop a plea, man. Come on, I'm copping a plea when I see you, man. So stop it, man. I'm front for the cameras. But is Zoo number one on your list? Not just from well, actually, before I even say that, do you think Zoo is going to win that fight against Fundora? I know you don't really care, but do you think he's going to win?
Um, I think Fundora gonna beat him.
Mm,
I think
okay.
Fundora.
Is that because Fundora is just a
We'll
very
we'll see how he comes back after that loss. This is his first fight back after that devastating loss. But I, I think if he's the same Fundora, I think he'll beat Zoo.
is that
How many southpaws have Zoo fought?
not many. And that's what I was gonna say. Like, do you think does a major part play in that he was fighting Keith Thurman, who's about average height and an
Yeah,
orthodox fighter, and now he's fighting somebody completely different in like
and
12 days.
he damn near 7 foot tall. And
Yeah.
um, Tim Tszyu's confident though. He's confident. I'm not. I'm not. I'd say I'm leaning 60-40 towards Fundora right now. I'm
Mm.
not completely counting him out, Tim Tszyu. I'm just saying, I just think Fundora's gonna win the fight. And the way they playing favorites, shit, fight go to you never know how it's gonna end up.
Facts. That's a fact. Let's just say Zoo does win that fight though, and he would obviously have two belts. Is he the number one guy on your list, not just because he has two belts, but also because I'm pretty sure you saw it. He says it pretty much all the time where he's just like, yeah, Erickson Lubin was ducking. Erickson Lubin didn't want the fight. Does that add a little extra fuel to the fight where it's just like, I want those belts and I want him next?
Well, I cleared my part of the story up, so I don't give a fuck what he says. This
Mm,
is the truth
mm,
about he I never got offered nothing. I never got no contract. I never got shit. Back, I think it was December. They asked me if I wanted to fight. I said yes. So he whatever he put out there is just all false and fake. But he'll be number one on my hit list just due to the fact that he'll have two titles. Say if Fundora win, it's even better. He's definitely number one on my hit list because he has two titles and he has a win over me. So I'll put Fundora at the. I think Fundora's gonna win.
to me, I kind of feel like a lot of fighters aren't necessarily like realistic with stuff, or they'll probably just say certain stuff just to say it. But when you say stuff, it's like you're more realistic with your things. Like with the Errol Spence moving up, it's just like, nah, I get it. He's a big name, he's one of the top guys and whatever. He deserves a shot. Same thing with Crawford. He's fighting at 47, but he's a top guy. I understand why he would want to move up and whatever. Did you have that same feeling when it was Keith Thurman though, or that shit didn't make no sense to you?
Hell no, that shit made no sense. The man been out 25 months or some shit like that.
Yeah,
They're fighting at a catch weight
yeah.
for the belt. It just didn't make sense.
Mm.
It just didn't make sense to me. I don't know if Keith Thurman was trying to cash out or something, but I don't know. He need to be more active before he comes swimming with the sharks.
Is he somebody that you have like at least somewhat of a relationship with? I'm only asking because both you guys are from Florida. So do you guys?
I grew up with Keith. I used to watch him when I was a kid. I
Mm,
was in the gym watching him. He was, older in the open division and shit like that. When he
mm,
first turned pro and everything. I got respect for Keith. I'm just being realistic.
mm. Did you think he was gonna have enough to pull off that win, or just too much inactivity, man?
Um, a little bit of both. I think being inactive that long, and then Tim Tszyu's a very active fighter, and then he's a real 154 pounder, and they fighting at a catch weight 155. So he could put a. I mean, it's 1 pound, but he could put something. You know what I mean? He could beef up a little bit.
Yeah.
Fighting a guy like Keith Thurman, he's a little older. He ain't been in the ring that long. I mean, for a long time, he ain't been in the ring. I don't think it's gonna be too good for Keith.
Is that a guy that you would entertain though? He just had his surgery. He'll probably be back maybe the end of the year, maybe 2028, knowing Keith, who really knows. But is he a guy that you would like kind of entertain? Like, yeah, I'll fight him.
And we gotta see how he comes back. We gotta see how Keith Thurman comes back. What type of fights he want. I mean,
Mm,
he's a big name in boxing, so they only want to see him in big fights.
mm.
But I don't know. Let's see. See if he's at 147, 154. There's fighting at a catch weight 155. So shit, he might even want to play around at 160.
Mm.
I don't know.
And I know you got respect for all fighters basically, but do you kind of look at Tim in like maybe like a little bit of a different vein, only from the standpoint of, he's down to fight all the top guys.
I
He's
ain't stressing about him. I ain't stressing about him at all. I
mm,
ain't stressing.
and take yourself out of the equation. Has he done enough to prove that he's the top guy at 154?
Who he beat? He beat Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison. I don't know if even Tony Harrison's gonna box anymore. Is he retired? Is he
Well,
still boxing?
he
Oh,
said he's gonna come back, but at 60 though.
okay, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a pretty big name, former world champion, but Tony Harrison's looking for big fights as well. And when they say they just looking for big fights, shit, they're ready to cash out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking for big fights, the best opposition, that type shit. I'm not. I mean, I'll like I said, I'll fight a Ramos if he come back and do his thing. I'll fight a Ramos, guy like Ramos. He's young, 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Or again, young guy, 24, 25 years old, whatever.
Looking at 154 pounds as a whole, man, is there enough so to is there enough meat on the bone, so to speak? Pause, no diddy. Is there enough come on, bro. Is there is there enough there where you can see yourself rocking out there for a while? Because you have no problem making weight. But is there enough names there for you to be like, yeah, nah, I'm good where I'm at?
I think 154 is hype. I think it's one of them weight classes. Um, you got guys like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford moving up, so they're making the weight class even more exciting.
Hmm. Last two questions for you,
I,
man.
I, I make weight. I make weight every time.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say it's always easy, but I make weight every time. So there's definitely a weight class I like to conquer.
Last two questions for you, man. In your mind, how did the fight between yourself and Jermell look the second time around, man? How did that look?
um, I'll kick his ass. I'll kick his ass, boy.
Do you take anything away from the Canelo fight just in terms of Canelo's able to do this and that, or not really?
Nah, I still got respect for Charlo too, man. Let's
Mm.
put that. I got respect for him, but that's definitely a fight that I definitely want. I definitely want. Um 7 years ago, I feel like I was, not mature, not even in the just my fighting. It was more like, my mentor and everything like that. I didn't feel as mature as I feel right now. I feel like I didn't approach that fight the way I was supposed to. I trained 5 weeks for that fight.
Mm.
My training camps nowadays is double that, 10 weeks,
Mm.
11 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever the case may be. Um, I feel like I definitely prepare for that fight different and come out on top.
I mean, I remember you going taking that fight. I believe that was at Barclays Center, if I'm not mistaken. And
Right.
you was super duper hyped up. You was out of your damn mind, man. Like you was going crazy. I, I definitely remember that. So
Right.
you definitely matured and chilled out a little bit more. But you got like 40 kids now, man. So
I
you
chill out,
know.
chill out.
Man, you got a couple kids now, so you mellow out a little bit, man. But how you how you been like stepping away from boxing, but how you been trying to like keep your time, like like what occupies your time the most, man? Like the family time and things like that. What occupies your time the most, man?
Yeah. Um, hang around my loved ones. I love hanging out with my kids. I'm always with my kids, vibing with them, hanging out with my brother, my siblings. I was just in New York going to see my mom. I was out there for like 3 weeks. I was ducking and dodging you.
I'm about to say I ain't getting no call, brother. Like you got to check in when you come to New York, man. You stop this, man. Come on.
I was dodging you. Yeah, travel a little bit. I'm chill. I'm a chill individual.
Is your son gonna be allowed to box, man, or
I don't know. He's starting to force my hand, but I'm
mm,
starting to put him in sports right now. I'm trying to keep his mind off of being so violent and stuff like that. Just go play some other sports. Boxing is a poor man's sport, and he ain't poor.
I was gonna say, man, because would you say that like your upbringing was like a little rough? Like you don't gotta go into the detail, but would you say like your upbringing was a little rough?
For sure, for sure. I mean,
So,
I was pretty much like you had to learn how to fight.
mm,
You had to learn how to fight. My brother, he forced me into boxing. Like, man, we going here, we doing this. Like,
mm,
I still look up to him. I looked up to him back in the days. he just taught me how to box, and I fell in love with it just by, I mean, doing what he doing, beating up people as at a young age.
So is that like the most difficult part for, maybe kids that have money or kids that have like a dad that was real successful in boxing because they don't maybe it's just like they don't really have like that gritty side. Like you had to do it and they just doing it kind of just cause. Like do you kind of look at your son like that? Like he ain't getting it out the mud. I got it out the mud. His hands
Yeah,
is clean, you know?
yeah, but certain things, if you just a natural, then you just gotta let them. You know what I mean? Let them run, go do it. But I don't know. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. I don't know yet.
I could tell you don't want to do that
Right
shit.
now, basketball, we trying to develop that Curry. So
Mm. Okay, I can tell you don't want him to do that shit. I can really tell, man. I can see
uh,
it. But yeah, last thing just before I let you go, man. Just kind of tell the fans when I know you said when you plan on coming back, probably like in the summertime or something like that and whatever. And just kind of like if you could just map out your this year and probably like your midway point of like next year, probably like just like your whole year. How do you see your year playing out now? Your next
um,
12 months.
next 12 months,
Yeah.
um, I feel like they're gonna come with something good. I feel um, like I said before, the Josh Kelly situation makes sense. One of those vacant titles makes sense, and they got to come with something like that. They definitely got to come with something like that.
Gotcha. Well,
So I'm
man,
good. I'm good, and I'm coming out on top.
love to hear it, man. Yo, appreciate
No
appreciate
Diddy.
Facts, no titty. Nah, I appreciate you jumping on, man. This was fun. Appreciate you. And next time you're in New York, man, if you don't hit me, man,
I got you, bro. My part.
my
Hit
man,
you.
appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro.